MacCam89 here, and today we're going to be talking about the Xbox 360 and specifically 5 games that I recommend from my personal collection that you pick up. Now, if you've been listening to the news, gaming news, Xbox has been in hot water. Everything from the closing of the Xbox 360 store to the closing of successful game studios that they have. And I'm not going to talk too much about that in this video. It's another video for another day. Don't necessarily agree with what they are doing. But today we're going to make a positive video. I know there's a lot of FOMO going around as well around Xbox 360 because of the store closure. But a lot of these games that I'm going to be recommending, they are not too expensive. A lot of them are pretty common, but I believe they are great games and they should be a part of every Xbox 360 collector's collection. And there's a little bit of everything for everyone in this choice that I've picked here. So without a further ado, let's get into the 5 games that I recommend you pick up for the Xbox 360. The first game that I picked up quite early in the Xbox 360 lifespan, and that is Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter. This is a fantastic tactical shooter. It is a little bit on the slower pace, so if you are expecting Call of Duty, this is not Call of Duty, but it is a great third-person shooter, and it is exclusive to the Xbox 360 in my opinion, even though it was made on other systems such as the PlayStation 2 and the original Xbox, which I own those versions as well. And it was also made for PC. However, this game is quite different in the way that you play. This is a third-person shooter, has awesome squad mechanics that were not as deep in the other versions, and also the other iterations of this game were in first person. Very different. The storylines may be a little bit different as well. But this is, in my opinion, the definitive way to play Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter, and this game was also not made for the PlayStation 3. The second one was, however, the first original Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter was not. So this is the definitive way to play this game, in my opinion. It features a great campaign. At the time, it had great multiplayer, and it also... it also has a up to 4-player co-op option where you can do the campaign with your buddies, all on a single console, which was a little bit more common in those days. Obviously, a lot less common nowadays. So this is a game that you can pick up on the cheap. If you got some buddies, you can do either single-player campaign or you can do the couch co-op. They also have mini missions as well. So you can do kind of like a terrorist hunt style missions and things like that. It was a lot of fun back in the day. Still a lot of fun to this day. Highly recommended. Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter for the Xbox 360. Fantastic. Getting into my second game. This is definitely going to be a different style of game, that's for sure. And it is an RTS. The great thing about the Xbox 360 is if you were an RTS fan, there were a couple of great RTS games that came out during that time. Actually played very well, and had great controls for an RTS game. And one of the better ones is the Lord of the Rings, The Battle for Middle-earth 2. Now, I'm going to go out and tell you that at the time that I originally played this game, I had never watched the Lord of the Rings films at that time. So at the time, I had no nostalgia or that was the reason why I picked up this game. I picked it up mainly because I was a huge RTS fan, and I wanted to play every RTS game that was on the Xbox 360, and I'm so glad I did, because you don't need to know the movies in order to play this game. If you're a fan of that genre, this is a awesome game to play. And if you are a fan of the movies, it's just icing on the cake. It's all you love about the movies in a game format as an RTS, and it is a blast. You have 2 different campaigns, the good and the evil campaign, and then you have a skirmish mode with quite a bit of different types of armies and buildings and units and things of that nature, and it is just hours upon hours of replayability. It is a lot of fun, plays great on the 360, looks pretty decent. Now, to be honest, there is a PC version of this game. You can also only get it physical. I will tell you, this is not a game that is on the digital store, so you will not get it digitally. Whether you get it for the Xbox 360 or for the PC, you do have to buy them in physical form. So this game, at the time that I bought it, I want to say it cost a little bit around that $20 range. It's probably a little bit higher now, especially with all the FOMO going on. But if you love RTSs, you love the genre, even if you don't like the genre, if you just like RTS, I meant themes. If you don't like the themes, but you like RTSs, this is a great game. A lot of fun with it. Highly recommend it. Lord of the Rings, Battle for the Middle Earth 2. Good game. Other great RTSs for the Xbox 360 before I get into it is the Command & Conquer games. They did Tiberian Sun, I think Kane's Wrath, and then also Red Alert 3 you could also get on the Xbox 360. Now you could also get Tropico as well. Now all those games that I named besides Red Alert 3 you could not get on a PlayStation 3. So I think a lot of these RTS games or city simulation games, they ended up on the 360 because of the hardware. The Xbox 360 had a hardware that was similar to PC, probably easier to port these games and develop them for the Xbox 360, whereas we all know the PlayStation 3 featured the custom cell processor, and unfortunately a lot of these RTS games just, and including Tropico, did not make its way over to the PlayStation 3. But Red Alert 3 did manage to come out on PS3. Alright, the next game is getting into the FPS genre. This is a huge series. And this is a game that most of you probably own. But if you're just getting into collecting for Xbox 360, this is a game that I highly recommend. And it is Halo 3. However, it is the ODST version. Now, Halo 3 is also a fantastic game, but this one just happens to be my favorite game because of that ODST campaign. And the reason why I like it so much is you're kind of playing as a regular soldier as opposed to playing as the Master Chief. So this, in my opinion, it's a pretty tough game as far as Halo goes. Because you don't have kind of that superpowers that the Spartans would have, Master Chief would have. So you're kind of a regular grunt. You have a little bit of a shield and things of that nature. Awesome campaign. You are battling for Earth. I just think it's an awesome game. I mean, at the time, the multiplayer was a lot of fun. It was Halo. It was fun. But the campaign, in my opinion, I just loved being able to play as a regular grunt in the Halo universe. And this is a game that I highly recommend. I actually have a few copies of this. Got it in a couple of mystery boxes. And I just love the game so much. I also own it in the Master Chief collection, but I still wanted to keep a physical version on the Xbox 360. Definitely add it to your collection. It is a more common game, but and it should be able to still be found for a fairly cheap price. But I highly recommend it. You know, especially if you're a fan of the Halo games and want a little bit more of a challenge, that's the game to go with. Alright, veering off into a little bit of a different direction now. This is a game that reminds me very much of Ninja Gaiden. It is created by From Software, and if you're familiar with From Software, those are the guys that have made the highly touted Demon Souls, Dark Souls, those types of games and genres. And this is a game for the Xbox 360. As far as I know, it is exclusive to the 360 and PC. This is another game that was not made for the PlayStation 3 that I'm aware of. And that is Ninja Blade. Now, I ended up going with the disc-only version to save a couple of bucks, and I just put it in this generic case that I had here. But yeah, Ninja Blade, this is, like I said, it's very akin to Ninja Gaiden in my opinion. It's got a pretty cool story set in Tokyo and features a parasite that takes over its human host and turns them into some kind of ungodly abominations. And it's a lot of fun if you like swordplay and things of that nature. And it is a little bit more on the pricier side. I want to say in that $20 to $25 range, especially if you're going for complete in box. It may be a little bit higher than that. When I was looking on eBay, there were a lot of Japanese versions, so I would be cautious on that because I don't know if the Japanese version has English or English subtitles, so you may want to make sure you look for the English version. However, it does cost a little bit more than the Japanese counterpart. I've used to play this game quite a bit back in the day. I just recently got it, was playing it again for the capture some footage and was having some fun with it. The one thing that I will warn about this game, and I know for some gamers it's a complete deal breaker, but during this time there was this fascination with this thing called QTEs, and this game does heavily feature QTEs. So if that's kind of a deal breaker for you, I would avoid this game and in its stead get Ninja Gaiden 2 or any of the other Ninja Gaiden games. It'll scratch that itch, and in my opinion, I think the Ninja Gaiden games are better games. I would definitely recommend them over Ninja Blade. But if you're looking for something kind of niche from Software and something a little bit different, definitely do recommend Ninja Blade to be added to your collection. Now, I do have one last game, and this is a game that is also common. However, this is the game that made me really fall in love with the Xbox 360. I loved the graphics. I was blown away at by the graphics at this by this game, especially during that time. I fell in love with the story, the characters. Really wish Microsoft had invested more in, instead of games like Halo Infinite. I think they could have done much more with it. This is a franchise that I think an RTS would have been awesome as well, but it never happened. And who knows what the future holds. There are rumors right now that there is a sequel in the works that is supposed to be announced soon, and I really hope so. I know some people on Twitter and the internet and things like that are saying that they're disappointed, but I can tell you that I will not be disappointed. And this game, I'll apologize for the state of the copy that I got, but I did get it in a Loved Again media, and it came in a little bit grimy, but I kept it because I love this game, and it is Gears of War, the original, for the Xbox 360. It is exclusive for the Xbox 360 as far as this version anyways. You can get a remastered version of this, and that is also an amazing way to play it. However, I think this game holds up really well. Like I said, fantastic graphics, good sound, good story, a lot of fun, a lot of gore, great third-person action. You could actually play the entire campaign on co-op as well, so you could have a buddy, a couch buddy, or you can play it online with another friend as well at the time. Awesome game. I really hope they continue it and don't ruin the franchise. We'll see what they have in store when they do the actual announcement, if they do. But this is a great game. You know, talking about graphics and things like that, there is a scene in this game in which you're heading towards a laboratory and it's raining, and my little kid mind at the time was blown away by the graphics and how realistic the rain falling on the soldiers at the time looked. And you know, it's just one of these games that it just stays with you. You know, the story stays with you, the gameplay, just everything about it just stays with you. It's a great game, very common, very cheap to pick up. You could probably pick this up for a couple bucks. But if you've never played the original Gears of War, highly recommend it. And that is 5 games that I recommend I'm going to be continuing this series, but I'm going to be mixing up the different consoles. So far, we've done PS3, we've done the Wii, now we've done the Xbox 360. 5 games that I recommend for your Xbox 360 collection. Now it's your turn in the comments. You let me know what you think about these 5 picks, and also what game do you recommend that I pick up for my Xbox 360 collection? Are there other hidden gems? Are there other RTS games that I didn't mention that you recommend that I pick up for the Xbox 360? My Xbox 360 collection today is not very big, so you can probably recommend quite a few games. So thanks for hanging out with me for this long, and as always, happy gaming and God bless.